From WLWT, this is Let's Talk Cincy.
The economy is surely growing, and according to Forbes, job growth is outpacing population growth, and consumer spending has increased by nearly 4% over the past 12 months. But are these numbers making a difference in your finances? Welcome to Let's Talk Cincy. I'm Alexis Rogers. The conversation around living a financially healthy lifestyle comes with so many questions, but no easy answers. Financial freedom means having enough savings, investment, and cash to afford the lifestyle we want for ourselves and our families. But getting to that point means eliminating debt like school loans and credit cards. That could reach into the hundreds of thousands.
We know the burden that student loan debt places on people's lives and how it slows down the trajectory and the change that they can make in the world.
Another factor, becoming a homeowner. In Cincinnati, the median property value increased more than 6.7% to $143,000. The homeownership rate is 37%, which is lower than the national average of 63.9%. Earning enough to put money away for the future, like retirement, is also a concern. The current median household income for Cincinnati is just under $39,000. But if you're making Ohio's minimum wage of $8.10, that's under $17,000 a year. In 2018, the federal poverty rate was about $12,000 for a single person, or a little less than $25,000 for a family of four. In Cincinnati, that includes almost 40% of the city's black residents and about 16% of the city's white residents.
The face of poverty is really someone, most likely a mother, who's working, not working, but working, and trying to manage 2 or 3 jobs and raising kids.
Helping millennials and entrepreneurs get to financial freedom. It is the conversation that everyone is having. And joining me now is my good friend, Lawrence Kane Jr. with Abundance University. Lawrence, you are all about people really getting ahead of the game. And so many people feel defeated, especially millennials, because they feel like it's completely shifted their culture, being in debt.
Right. Yeah, I mean, some people really believe that they'll die in debt. And what we teach at Abundance University is that financial success happens on purpose. So if you want to be debt free, you have to put in the work that possibly you just don't want to do, but you know it's worth it at the end.
You always teach the community, really. I've seen you in many different atmospheres, that people have to start early. How early are you telling people? Because I've even seen you talk to kids about being financially free, and how does that impact millennials?
Well, I think the conversation just looks different depending on how old you are. So we do a program for 3rd graders, but we're just introducing them to making the right decisions in life, and then translate that into how it looks when you have money. So you may not have to spend your money just because you have extra money. Put in a savings, invest in it, invest in yourself. Maybe you go read a book or purchase something for yourself to really get you to your next level. So it's a never-ending journey, right? From whether you're a kid or whether you're an adult. It seems like it's an ongoing process, and that's how we have to start treating it.
Let's talk about our young adults, because many people feel like they don't make enough to even pay off, especially when it comes to student loans. I feel like that is like the evil word. Listen, come on now. All right. So what do you tell people when they're trying to attack their student loans, their credit card debt, and they feel like they just don't make enough to really put a dent in it?
Right. So it's just like stepping on the scale trying to lose weight. You have to first see where you're at. So I always ask people to write down everything that they owe, from the smallest to the highest. And then we set up a debt snowball method to where once they pay off that small one, then they take whatever they were paying on that one and then put it extra on the second smallest, and keep doing that until they're debt free. And that can cut, in most cases, that can cut 10 to 15 years off of being in debt.
Wow. And then when it comes to the things that people are just not talking about doing, we talked a little bit about this. What are some natural habits that we need to have in order to change this culture of always being in debt?
For sure. So one of the first things, we have to change our mindset from having bills to lifestyle expenses. So that's number one. Number two, we need to have a financial meeting with ourselves or with our household every single month. Once a month is good, but if you can get into a habit of every Sunday talking about the week ahead and what's due and what can you do to make more money, right? Do you need to Uber? Do you need to do Lyft? Do you need to do online surveys? I mean, you can make an extra $200-300 just doing online surveys from your house. So those two things are kind of the most important things that we can do. Setting up a good habit of understanding what type of lifestyle do I really want, And is being debt free gonna give me that best lifestyle? Or do I need to make more money so I can pay off the debt or make more money to start investing? So it's solely up to you, but you can't have a defeated mindset with your money because you control it.
Man, you control it, and the money doesn't control you. Remember that. We're going to put that on a T-shirt, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, Lawrence, thank you so much. And of course, when it comes to people being debt-free, the journey doesn't stop here. We'll have more on this coming up on Let's Talk Cincy.
If your plan to becoming a millionaire is winning the lottery, we have a better way for you. I'm Jan Michelle Lemon-Kearney, and I want you to meet Al and Lisa Riddick. Welcome, guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
And I should say Al is with Game Time Budgeting, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But you guys are millionaires. You became millionaires in your 30s, really young. And it's not because you won the lottery.
Not at all.
Right? So let's go back. Tell us about your background.
Well, I'll let the young lady go first.
Okay, yeah, so I'm not originally from the Cincinnati area. Actually, I'm a transplant from the Metro Atlanta area. Engineering background, have a graduate degree from Southern Methodist University, undergraduate Tennessee State University.
Yay.
I love to give my shout outs, TSU, to my HBCUs, yeah.
Right.
And so moved to Cincinnati to actually work for Procter & Gamble, and I've been here for around 20 years now.
Oh, fantastic.
And I actually grew up in a town, it's called Littleton, North Carolina, the little town with
And
a
it's
big
really
heart.
little, right?
Very small.
Population is only about 600 people, but just a little bit about my background. I think I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, so when I was about 12, I started my first business washing cars. So from there, that took me to mowing lawns, painting houses, and then working at a funeral home, which was owned by a family friend. But of course, I have to also represent North Carolina A&T as
Right,
well.
that's right.
So that's just a little bit about my
I
background.
love telling my son about it. I said, you know, Al Riddick had a business when he was 12. And my son's like, I don't want to hear that. But I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But so you two met in Cincinnati. I know you met at the movie theater. Great love story. You got married, but you had some debt. Right?
Yes.
So, and this debt is like a bad word for Al.
Yes.
So tell us about, tell us about that.
So the funny thing about it, when I talk about my background, the thing about college is that you always get credit. People tell you, get credit cards.
Right.
They're great.
They throw them
yeah,
at
they
you.
throw them
Yeah.
at you. And then I was even told, oh, wow, if you can qualify for this credit card, that's a good thing.
Right.
So I did have a lot of credit cards when I met Al. And one of the funny stories is that I think about 2 weeks after we met, I bought a new car.
Okay.
And it was a new, I mean, it wasn't like a standard new car. It was a fully
You
loaded
bought
new
a
car.
new car, but not with cash, right?
Definitely not
that's
with
more
cash.
debt. Okay.
Yes, and so I was so excited about it, and I told Al, and I was like, I got a new car, I'm about to go pick it up. He was like, don't you have a car? Why did you buy the car? That's an expensive car. Why did you do that? I was like, what's wrong with this guy? He should be happy for me. But, I learned a lot of things. He actually taught me how to pay off the credit card debt, actually gave me spreadsheets, and it worked.
Oh, my
And it really
goodness.
worked. And so as
Very
I was-
romantic.
Very
spreadsheets.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, spreadsheets. But
they
because I'm an
worked.
engineer,
Right.
it was a good thing for me because that's how I like to track numbers and
Right.
everything. But as I saw that I was paying things down and I had more money to spend, I realized that a lot of the things that I was taught and that I learned about debt was not that good.
Right.
So he gave me a different perspective on money.
So, and actually you guys became millionaires, but during that process, you actually lost a high-paying job. And your whole thing is you don't have to have a lot of income to get wealthy, right?
That is correct.
So tell us, what's the system?
Yeah, I actually lost my job back in 2010. So to go from a six-figure income to zero, that's a shock to your system.
Yeah.
But so far as our personal system is concerned, we sit down together every month. Now, keep in mind, we've been married 17 years, but we have a personal finance meeting every month, and we even do an end-of-year financial review where we actually give our money purpose and direction so it will not misbehave.
I love that. You say, tell your money where to go.
Exactly.
Tell your money where to go. So first you became debt-free,
That is correct.
and then you put money aside. Give us just a few hints.
Just a
as
few
we
hints.
close
When
out.
we sit down together every month, our top 3 priorities are saving and investing for retirement, philanthropy, and then putting money in our vacation account. So we make sure that we allot the necessary funds for those 3 categories right away, and then the rest we force ourselves to live off because that's the money that's remaining.
I love that. And I also read in your book, The Uncommon Millionaire, that you don't buy anything unless you've saved for it. Like even your basement getting remodeled, buying a car, you wouldn't ever do what Lisa did before you were married. Go buy a car and have all that debt, right?
We believe in a one-payment plan.
A one-payment plan, right? Save up first and then get it.
Exactly.
Right. So game time budgeting, you really teach people how to budget, and that is the key to becoming a millionaire.
Yes,
it's not
ma'am.
really making a ton of money. It's how you save it.
Definitely.
Exactly.
I love that. Oh, thank you so much for joining us. Stick with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hi there, and welcome back to Let's Talk Cincy. We are looking at the path to financial freedom, and at a time where we're seeing an improving economy, but 76% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 1 in 3 Americans won't have enough to retire, and household credit card debt in the U.S. is hovering around $16,000. And housing is getting even more expensive as well. Many Americans will never be able to buy a home, and many will struggle to pay rent. And we're continuing our conversation on financial freedom. We want to take some of the questions that are impacting you. So joining us today are Rick Williams, President and CEO of Home Ownership Center, as well as Dana Salter, who's working in neighborhoods. Hi guys, how are you? Well, this is going to be good. And so we also have some awesome people from the community. We have Maria, we have John, and we have Lavonda. So let's start this conversation, right? Where are we? We actually can start with Maria. Maria, what's your question for our experts?
Hi, my name's Maria, and I'm a college student at University of Cincinnati. I'm 19 years old, 18. And so my question is, what are the following steps that you need to take as a college student to reach that financial potential of, you're being bombarded with credit cards and you just don't have that knowledge that you should going into, how to reach financial peace. So what are the following steps to, be debt-free?
Just remember that every credit card use is debt and not revenue or income. That is like the trap. And also understand that there are a lot of traps around you all of the time. You are a commodity. And so everyone who wants you as a customer will convince you of many, many ways to get your money. So it's being conscious of where your goals are and making sure you're protecting yourself as all of these interests and temptations are around you for getting at your money.
Absolutely. And to piggyback on that, don't take out more student loans than you can get back in your salary. So we see that a lot of people taking on $60,000, $70,000 for a job that they're probably going to earn $30,000 a year. So be very mindful when you're talking with your financial counselor about where you are with your loans.
Awesome. Let's take another question.
Yeah, so I'm John A. Reese, and I work at the Cincinnati Herald. I'm their digital media manager. My question is, how much should you save for, unexpected costs, like repairs? Because, a real-life example, I think, a couple months ago, my computer died on me, and since I'm a digital media manager, that's kind of important to my job.
I'd
And
say
so that's basically my question. How much do you think, you should save, for, like I said, those unexpected things that happen? And just how much?
We like to say 10% of your salary you should be saving at all times, and that is separate from savings that you should be doing for a home if you plan to be a homeowner. So you need those 2 pots of money in order to make sure that you can manage life, because life happens.
Yeah, and just to give you a number, I usually say start with your health deductible, your car insurance deductible, because usually all of us have one. So if it's $2,500, you want to make that a good starting point just to label it.
That's awesome. Lavonda, what's your question?
Hi, my name is Lavonda Trim. I am a wife and a mother of 2 wonderful teenagers, and I'm looking forward to investment properties. So I'm wondering, what should I look for in a realtor? What questions should I ask to make sure I find the best realtor for my needs?
Okay, I would say, are they working full time? Do they know the area that you're looking at? Some real estate agents don't specialize in investment properties, so really knowing their background. And also, are they a dual agent? So are they representing you and the seller? So you want to make sure that they have your best interest at heart and not somebody else's.
Okay.
And I would never make that one of the first things that you do in hiring a realtor for investment property. I think the first thing for you is to make sure that you're ready to be a landlord. You're becoming an entrepreneur when you purchase investment property. And so everything that you need to know to make sure you're successful at that, and that will include location, where you want to buy. All of those things need to be clarified first, because that'll start to shape what realtor you want, someone who may have expertise in that neighborhood, as well as the type of property that you want. So do that first before you hire that realtor.
Excellent.
It's so amazing how our money can work in so many different ways. Maria, did you have another question?
Yes, I did. So apart from finding what you need and what you want, what are the steps to building credit score as a college student? And because many college students lack the knowledge of how to build credit score, along with how to reach, the retirement plans in jobs. So what are the following steps with that?
I like this question. I don't want to work forever, okay?
The 18-year-old said.
What's the retirement plan?
It's actually, this may sound weird, but it is to get in debt and pay it back. You need a history that shows that you are trustworthy with other people's money. So that means have a history of paying your rent, create histories of payments such that when you're in the position where you want to borrow money, you have a credit score that supports that trust level that you want to present as who you are.
Absolutely. So getting a secure credit card for maybe $200, maybe using it for your Netflix, your Hulu, and paying it back every month. The bank is looking at your behavior, so your credit report is just a financial snapshot. So people go in and they're like frantic after 30 years of destruction. Well, it's going to take a little bit of time, but if you're coming in fresh, just get something small and build that behavior up for the banks to see.
It's amazing how your money can really work for you. I mean, all of you are in different phases of life, but what would you say is one piece of advice that everyone can use?
How important the credit score is, unfortunately, it becomes who you are. And that number, as well as other financial information about your history, is what people see before they even look at your name or anything else specifically about you. It becomes who you are. You are a number. Your file has a number attached to it, not your name. So it's important that you have the best foot forward for that. And then that gives you some flexibilities and freedoms to make decisions later.
Right, and I would say your credit score, 65% of your credit score is just on-time payments and your debt. So if you can do that, you're already one step of the game. So just opening your mail is a start. People want to start with savings, but a lot of people don't open their mail, so they don't know they have a medical bill, and just paying everything on time.
And you would be surprised how many mistakes there are in your credit report. And so it's important to take a look at it every now and then. Believe it or not, I have a weird name, and there are still people out there who have that same name. And so it's important to keep on top of that as well.
Right, and you can check that at www.annualcreditreport.com, free annually at the 3 credit agencies, which is TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax.
I like free. When it's for free, it's for me. You all, thank you so much. You all have been awesome. I've learned a little something as well. And of course, this conversation is far from over. We will keep our experienced folks here for a little bit. We'll be right back with our guests as they share their final thoughts to get you on the path to financial freedom when Let's Talk Cincy returns. We are back with Rick Williams and Dana Salter. So exciting about the conversation we were able to have. I want to ask you a question though. How important is it to budget, and how important is it to understand debt?
Absolutely, so it's extremely important. And I like to tell my participants that it's just like brushing your teeth. You wouldn't wake up and not brush your teeth, so you should be looking at your budget every time you get paid. checking it, tweaking it, and then having a family meeting to see if you're on guide to reaching your goals.
You run into the danger of spending more than you make, and that's why a budget is so important. And along with looking at the budget and making clear what it is really important to know where your money is going every week, because it's so easy to lose track of those little expenditures that can get beyond the budget quickly.
You know what I think is interesting is when you learn how to make your money work for you. I'm a visual learner. My husband and I have this conversation all the time. He can just remember it. I'm like, no, I need to see it. It needs to be color coded. Yes. I mean, even those little details, do those make a difference on how you understand your debt?
You know what? It's a big difference in how you understand you. As you just described the difference between you and your husband, you two then need to manage your money differently to suit who you are. And that's important for everyone to do.
Absolutely, but I've found with children that works effectively. So one thing you can do is go to the dollar store and get a large cardboard and put a graph up, maybe a triangle, and just say, this is what we're saving for, this is where we want to be. So now you have the whole family in on the budget without them knowing your salary.
Absolutely, and when we're talking about money, because I think money changes over time, right? Mm-hmm. And the way it works changes over time, and I think everybody just wants to figure out, how do I become financially free? Some people feel like they're actually going to die with debt. I mean, how do they just become financially free? Is it really just what they do every day? What can they be doing?
It is what you do every day, but it is having goals. And a broad goal to have is the fact that early on, like a friend who's 18, you're working for the money, and eventually you want to get to a place where the money is working for you. And so it takes work to get there, but if you have some goals along the way, then you're working for something, and you can do that chart that Dana mentioned, and you're working for something each step.
How old or how young can we be to really make a difference in our finances to be financially free?
I say as young as maybe 5 or 6, where they're getting invited to book fairs or they're having a birthday party. You can include them in on picking out a gift and setting a budget on how much to spend on that gift.
I agree with that totally. When you're teaching children what money is and how it works, that's when you're starting them on that path for financial freedom.
I love that. And then any tools that you feel like if people just knew about these websites, I know you gave us some a little earlier in this edition, but any other tools that you think that people should really know about?
I'm not someone who encourages websites because there are too many out there, and it's hard to distinguish the ones that are just trying to sell you something. I think it's important to connect with a real live local person and organizations like the organizations that we are a part of that can actually be trusted advisors.
Thank you all so much. I've learned a lot. I'm sure a lot of our viewers have learned a lot as well. And we want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Let's Talk Cincy. We want to hear from you, so email us your ideas at ltc@wlwt.com. And that's also where you can see full episodes. See you next time.